your love, girl, there's no more. Tell me what you been playing. Oh, and I know you don't want nobody else. No, no, no.
What's going on, y'all? Shemaine Man 5. And as promised, we back with another album reaction that everybody's been asking for. So, if you read the title, you know today we're starting a journey of Queen that I promised. So today we're going to be listening to their debut album, their self-titled album, just Queen by Queen. Now, you know I already heard A Night at the Opera. That was voted by you guys months ago to be the album that you wanted me to check out. So I did that. It's up here on Patreon. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go check that out. But today we're going to be starting a journey from the very beginning. I previously put out a reaction to this particular first song, Keep Yourself Alive, which I really loved, and I talked a little bit about that. So I'm going to let this one play, and then we're going to listen to the rest of the album and talk about it as we go. Y'all know how we do this. But yeah, I'm excited. From what I heard starting off, they were already really strong of a band in the very beginning. So I'm excited to see what the entire narrative of the album was, or if it was a narrative, if it was purely just performative and to give the essence of what a show would be like, similar to A Night at the Opera. I'm just interested to see where they started from. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into Queen, and yeah, let's see what all the hype was about. Let's do it.
In my way, might you grow a little wiser, a little better every day. But if I crossed a million rivers and I rode a million miles, then I'd still be where I started, bread and butter for a smile. I sold a million mirrors in a shopping alleyway, but I never saw my face in any window any day. Now they say your books are telling you be a superstar, but I tell you just be satisfied and stay right where you are. Keep yourself alive. Yeah, keep yourself alive. And I had a million dinners brought to me on silver tray. Give me everything I need to feed my body and my soul. I'd grow a little bigger, maybe that can be my goal. I was told a million times of all the people in my way how I had to keep on trying and get better every day. But if I crossed a million rivers and I rode a million miles, then I'd still be where I started, the same as when I started. Keep yourself alive. Come on, keep yourself alive. Take you all your time and the money, you'll survive. Shake. Better every day. No, I just think I'll just steer her to my grave. Keep yourself alive. Come on, keep yourself alive. You take your time and take my money.
See, that was dope. And I think, first off, I see Brian May wrote this song. I know just from a little background that I've gotten in the past from you guys, they all wrote specific songs. And listening to A Night at the Opera, I know that they all had hands in writing some of the dope music that was on there. But to get right down to the point, I think the energy that this song gives me is something that's about humility, something that's similar to like a parable that talks about focusing on the bigger picture as opposed to what society's standard of success is. It seems to be giving like a parable through the story of different types of people that focus on obtaining things, obtaining material possessions, money, things that make you feel like you have status in the physical world. But those aren't the things that are going to make you feel satiated. Those aren't the things that are going to keep your heart pumping. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many things you own or how much money you have, if God forbid you were to get cancer, or if God forbid depression was to fall over your mind, or fear was to overtake your heart, that stuff is not going to save you. Those things aren't going to keep your heart moving. It's all about focusing on the bigger picture, things like love and building very substantial relationships with the world around you is what truly matters. It seems to be a tale of when you focus on all of the things that don't truly matter at the end of it all, those are the very things that give you false senses of confidence. They give you false senses of security, and it gives you a false identity in believing that those things are going to keep you happy and keep you satisfied long term. This really just seems to be like a cautionary tale to not get jaded by the status quo and not get jaded by society's standard of what you need to be. And with this being their first album, it could also be a tale of them trying to keep themselves grounded and focusing on not allowing the potential heights of where they do end up going. Obviously, they don't know that yet, but having faith in themselves as a band, I'm sure they always knew they could go to where they became. But this could also be a tale for themselves that lets them know no matter how big this thing goes, no matter how big this thing gets, we need to allow ourselves to stay focused on what truly matters. Making sure us as a core band and group stay focused and locked arms as a family, but also keeping the main thing. Staying focused on the very reason of why we do this. We create music to entertain the people. We create music because it keeps our heart pumping. It's not about the money. It's not about the sex. It's not about such and such. It's all about keeping ourselves focused on what truly mattered in the beginning, where we were at a grassroots level trying to figure out what the fuck Queen was going to be. So that's just kind of like a multifaceted tale that it gives me. Just something to keep you grounded and keep you focused on what truly matters and the things that will keep your heart pumping at the end of it all. Y'all can comment down below and let me know if you agree with that, or let me know if you got a completely different meaning. Because the beautiful thing about music is that it touches different people's hearts in different ways at different points in your life for different reasons, if that makes sense. So comment down below, give me some background on Queen 1. Let me know what their start was. Let me know how they even came to be. Because as y'all know, I didn't really watch Bohemian Rhapsody from start to finish, so I'm not very familiar with their origin stories. But let me know how this album came to be. Let me know how the band came to be. Let me know what your thoughts on this album were. And let me know your thoughts on my thoughts about this song. If you have anything I should know or you have a different interpretation, I'd love to hear it.
Yesterday, my life was in ruin. Now today, I know what I'm doing. Got a feeling I should be doing alright. Doing alright. 'Cause Should be waiting for the sun, looking round to find the words to say. Should be waiting for the skies to clear. There were time in all the world. Should be waiting for the sun. And anyway, I got to hide away. Yesterday, my life was in ruin. Now today, God knows what I'm doing. Anyway, I should be doing alright. Doing alright. Doing alright.
Okay. So, okay, just listening to Keep Yourself Alive in this, I like the fact that it shows, and even through the instrumentation of it, I love the fact that it shows the ebbs and the flows of trying to keep peace of mind while in pursuit of doing something greater. I like the fact that the first song is really just kind of like a note to themselves to always focus on the bigger picture, focus on keeping yourself grounded, focus on this and that and etc. But when you look at this specifically, this is talking about the natural ups and downs of our emotional health, and just the complexity of the ways that it can go from 100 to 0 or 0 to 100. Even the instrumentation on this song gave those rises and falls, because that can be representative of the fact that your emotions go from 0 to 100 and then drop back down again. It shows that, you know, sometimes you're feeling good, you're feeling energetic, you're feeling loud and expressive, and then other times you feel more laid back, you feel more somber. Sometimes you feel a little bit more reserved and shy than usual. That's just the complexities of human emotions and the way that it can change day to day. But I like the fact that this song is really just talking about trying to navigate those emotions, and how even though you know that life has its complexities and life has its up and downs, you're still trying to find the best way to stay positive through your storms. You're still trying to find the best way to stay mentally grounded, the same way that you want to stay grounded no matter how high you climb as far as your pursuit of your purpose. I like that this is just expressive for everybody. You have your days where it's rough. You have your days where you're feeling down and sad and feeling like you're not making any progress in your life. It's like, you know, yesterday might have been sunny, but then today I'm living in ruin, or vice versa. Yesterday was a bad day, but now today's going to be a better one. It's like giving yourself those affirmations, looking yourself in the mirror and letting it know that Days will be bad sometimes, but I still have to hold out for the fact that there's still a sunshine coming. This is just one of them songs that tell you to keep on pushing on, even when the days get rough, even when you feel so out of control of everything going on in your life. There will still always be a reason for you to keep on pushing. You just got to stick with the journey. I like the way that those two songs go together because they're both motivational in that way, and they're both teaching you a positive life lesson. Everybody has their days, and I think when you're going through it, sometimes you can feel isolated from the rest of the world. Your mind is very manipulative in that way. When you're struggling through something, it feels like you're the only person in the world. But artists being vulnerable enough to share their emotional journeys in their music like this makes people recognize that it's okay. Like, oh, damn, they go through it too. It's not just me. And I feel like we all need to hear that sometimes. So for me, that song, and this is the direction I'm gonna choose to go in with it. I feel like that was them telling a story of a cautionary tale. It's basically playing as a cautionary tale. I believe Queen is from the UK, if I'm not mistaken. But to me, the song is being spoken from a place of sarcasm, but is also serving as a cautionary tale for all of the people and all of the masses. Is representative of the fact of, now, this could be like a metaphor for talking about the hierarchy in the UK and the way that whole thing works, and really talking about how the powers that be want you to be subservient. They want you to become the type of citizens they want you to be. They want you to become the type of people that represent your country a certain type of way and fall in line and just be the type of person that's subservient to whatever the monarchy wants you to be. It's not about having a relationship with God or focusing on being morally sound or focus on having personal values that you and your spouse live by and you instill into your children. This is basically them talking about how the powers that be just want you to be something that serves in the bigger picture of the word that they want to create. A lot of people in power can have those, not just superiority complexes, but they can have God complexes and a way of thinking that they can control people. Just because they've been placed into a place of power, they feel like they are God. They feel like they have the right to tell people who to be, and the way that I want you to be isn't recognizable internally. Like a lot of people who want to be good people, what if the monarchy says, like, let's say hypothetically, we go back to like a situation of the Victorian times or like the Dark Ages. Let's think of like a scenario in that time frame. And let's say you were in a crowd and the king had somebody that was a prisoner being brought in because they stole produce from the garden. And the punishment for that was for them to be killed. What if you were a bystander off to the side and the king pointed at you and said, "You there?" He said, "You there. I want one of these knights to give you a sword and I want you to slay this man for thievery." Now, depending on the type of person you are, morally, would you be able to go and do whatever they say? Like, would you be able to commit murder all because the king told you to do it, even if you know it's the wrong thing to do, even if you know that's not who you are, even if you know that's not the type of demons that you want to live with? Will you fall into line and be a sinner the way that they want you to? Or will you stand your ground and be the type of person that you want to be, even if it costs you everything? So I like that he was telling a story about a king that died, but then speaking from the perspective of through the king and telling a story of how wicked of a man he was, talking about the type of way that he wanted people to be servants. He wanted people to do whatever he said. He wanted to play God in people's lives. So I like the fact that that's kind of playing as a cautionary tale of telling you to be your own person, stand on your own morals, and be a good person, or at least be the type of person that you see fit, regardless of the powers that be trying to take control of the world around them. That's the way that I perceive it. Let me know down below if y'all see something completely different, but that's the narrative. That's the narrative that I'm gonna run with, because that's what it gave to me.
In the land where horses born with eagle wings and honeybees have lost their stings, they're singing forever through the years. In with fallow deer and rivers made from wine so clear flow on and forever. Dragons fly like sparrows through the air. Baby lambs were sons and best to go on and my favorite king. Things that are not there for you. Someone just drained the color from my wings, broken my fairy circle ring, and shamed the king in all his pride. Changed the winds and wrong the tides. Mother Mercury, look what they've done to me. I cannot run, I cannot hide.
Okay, I'm gathering. I'm gathering. I'm gonna talk more about it all. Let's keep going.
till your dying day. I'm gonna keep you till your dying day. I'm gonna kneel down by your side and pray, and pray, and pray, and pray. Wow! Wow! All day long, all day long, all day long, all day long. Yeah! All day long. All day long, all day long, all day long. Liar, liar, they never ever let you in. Liar, liar, everything you do is sin. Liar, nobody believes you. Liar, they bring you down before you begin. Now let me tell you this. So now you know you could be dead before they let you.
You know what this is? This is rebellion music, just in terms of them using a lot of themes and metaphors to talk about messages that are applicable to where they come from, and messages to encourage and tell the story of where they come from and the people that live amongst the society of where they come from. I like that they start the album out about focusing on things like how you have to focus on keeping yourself grounded. Don't let the world around you make you somebody that you're not. And then it goes on to tell stories about the powers that be and how they can be negative influences that want to draw you against all of the positive influences and positivity that you have in your life, whether that be a relationship with God or that be a relationship with a mother that prayed over you and taught you how to be a good person, that instilled those positive values in you, or friends around you that encourage you to stay grounded, or friends and people that encourage you, or a loved one, or a spouse, children, people that make you want to be and just who you are naturally and internally. I love how they talk about the duality between you trying to focus on how important it is to have people around you, but how important it is to continue to let yourself know and speak to yourself about me being the best person that I can be is the best way to fight against the powers that be. That's the best way to fight against oppression and continue to be that person. But then it also talks about the way that it weighs on you. Being the type of person that wants to be positive, being the type of person that wants to stay grounded, being the type of person that wants to be a positive influence within a society that makes you feel like, let's say you're somebody that it's about a story of individualism. You have the monarchy and the powers that be that want society to bend their knee to them and be faithful servants to them. Whatever I tell you to do, you're going to do. And a lot of society are just cogs inside that big machine. They're just brushstrokes inside of the bigger picture or the painting that tells the story of what their society is. You stick out like a sore thumb. Not only do they ostracize you, but your mind starts to play tricks on you. One thing about your mind is it tries to put you in position of ways that it can protect you. Whether that be conformity, if the whole world around you is operating one way, your brain is going to say, hey man, it's not the smartest thing to go out there and go against the grain. It's not the smartest thing to stand up against the powers that be. It's not the smartest thing to be a shining light in a world full of darkness. But that's not your mind trying to make you feel low. That's your mind trying to keep you safe, because there's danger that comes with being different. Think of civil rights leaders, or think of presidents that advocated for the freedom of slaves, or think about people who chose to advocate for positive and beautiful things in the world and go against the grain of negativity and war and positive. I mean, negativity, war, poverty, all of the things that are perpetuated inside of all of these different countries. You being somebody that fights against those things, that makes you a target. So this song is really just like how you're trying to focus on your morals. You're having a conversation with God. You're telling your mother, like, I'm listening to you. I hear what you're saying. I'm going to continue to be here with you. I'm going to fall on my knees and pray to God and let him know what I've been weighed down with. I want him to make it a little bit easier for me to carry. But your brain trying to protect you calls you a liar. The people around you call you a liar. Society makes you feel like a liar. And you start to get that insecurity because of it. And your brain trying to protect you are the exact type of things that cause feelings of anxiety, feelings of depression, feelings of loneliness, all of those things that make you call yourself names even when you know that you're only trying to do the right thing. So I like the fact that the narrative of the album is really just focusing on trying to be that shining light inside of a world of darkness, being an individual in a wave of robots, choosing to have a heart inside an army of heartless people. That's the energy is given. And this is really just talking about that fight back of your mental and the world around you trying to get you to fall in line instead of trying to be an individual. Okay. Okay.
Tried to be a son and daughter rolled into one. You said you'd equal any man for having your fun. Now didn't you feel surprised to find the cap just did unfit? The world expects a man to buckle down and to shovel shit. What do you do for loving when it's only just begun? I want you to be a woman, yeah. Tried to be a teacher and a visual man. An equal deeper preacher, will you lead us all the same? Well, I travel around the world and found a brand new life a day. Watching the time must linger behind. Pardon me, I have to get away. What do you think of heaven if it's back from where you came? I want you to be a woman. I want you to be a woman. Yeah. Little did he know I'm gonna save the world. Now it's just begun.
Okay. Okay.
Then I saw him in the crowd. A lot of people had gathered round him. The beggar shouted to the lepers, called him. The old man said nothing, he just stared about him. All going down to see the Lord Jesus. All going down to see the Lord Jesus. All going down. Then came a man, before his feet he fell. Unclean, so the leper rang his bell. Felt the palm of a hand touch his head. Go now, you're a new man instead. Oh, going down. See the Lord Jesus. All going down to see the Lord Jesus. Right, all going down. It all began with the three wise men. Followed his star, took them to Bethlehem, and made it heard throughout the land. Born was the leader of men. All going down to see the Lord Jesus. All going down to see the Lord Jesus. All going down. took them to Bethlehem and made it heard throughout the land. Born was a leader of men. Yes, we're all going down to see the Lord Jesus. All going down to see the Lord Jesus. All going down.
Okay, I got some thoughts on this. Yeah, I got some thoughts. Oh, that was the end? Oh, shit. That just surprised me. Hold on. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Well, I got a lot of thoughts about it, so hold on 1 second. Let me just bring that back up. So, yeah. Okay, I like this album. I like it for sure. This will more than likely end up being episode 13 of our Mythbuster series. We can see if we separate, like, taking the journeys of these people's full catalogs and separate that from being, because the Mythbuster series more so is focused on locking in with people's essential stuff, locking in with their considered classics. Now, to people's fan base, everything that they've done is a classic, but I'm talking about in terms of success, the way it was received, all of those things. So maybe we'll leave this out and we'll just focus on, because I think the next one that they have essentially might be Sheer Heart Attack. So when we get to that, maybe that'll be episode 13 or 12, whatever we on. Point being, let's get into this. I think what makes this album so interesting is the fact that it it really tells a story of the contradiction and juxtaposition between societal standards and expectations versus the person that you want to be internally, the juxtaposition between societal standards and morality, the juxtaposition between what the powers that be want people to be and the way that they want them to serve and revel in the greatness of them versus you having a relationship with a higher source that's bigger than all of this. I like that narrative because a lot of what it tells is really just a story about all of the things that you're taught growing up and all of the lessons that people receive. If you were fortunate enough to be raised by good people, or fortunate enough to get around people that were able to instill good values in you or try to lead you the right way, that can be very contradictory to the messaging that gets bestowed on us from multimedia or propaganda that we see in the news, or in their case, the way that the hierarchy wants to run the country, the way that the poor get treated, the way that they get perceived. I feel like there's a lot of juxtaposition in all of that. And this album is really just talking about the hypocrisy of it all. It's talking about how important it is to maintain your values, maintain who you are as a person, make sure you stand your ground and stay exactly the person you are, regardless. This is really just about rebellion, but internally. They're not telling you to go out and make a spat, to make a big noise and fight the machine, but it's talking about through your day-to-day actions and the person that you choose to be innately, people seeing that light shining from you is going to be what encourages other people to break away from the bigger machine, or break away from seeing the need to live inside whatever the standards that the world or the powers that be put on your life. I like the fact that it talks about through taking that journey of being a true individual, through taking that journey of choosing to be a positive person or a positive light in this world, it's going to come with a lot of self-doubt. It's going to come with thoughts of fear, thoughts of anxiety, because you're doing something that's not normal. You're not doing something that's common or something that's societally acceptable. Because let's be honest, and I talk about that a lot just in America as well, and that's true of all of the countries around the world. When the powers that be thrive on power and those God complexes that we talked about, individuality is not what's promoted. They don't want people to be happy. They don't want people to be at peace. They don't want people to be healthy. They don't want people to find strength enough in themselves to go out and make a beautiful world around them. Because when you do that, how does that serve them? How does that bring money to them? How does that service them? I kind of think of the way that they're painting this picture before I go into the story I'm about to go. Even with that, it talks a lot about the narrative of listening to your mother and listening to your parents, because in this analogy, that's the positive figure that taught you a lot of the values that you stand on. I love that after all of it talking about how the leadership and how society standards wants to push people down and put them on bended knee, it goes into telling the story of Jesus. I feel like that's representative of, through all of the bullshit that you hear in day-to-day life, when you really just buckle down and close your eyes and think back to the stories that you heard from the Bible or stories that your mother taught you growing up. It really just talks about how, regardless of all of the stuff that's going on in the world, there was only one perfect person. There was only one true leader, and there was only one person that can judge you for not being perfect. You're living through the example of what Jesus said. You're living through the example of the fact that God sent his son to be able to die for your sins and for the sins of everybody around you. So just because you're deciding to follow this doesn't mean that you're wrong. This is kind of like combating the insecurity that your brain is trying to force onto you. Because even in the Bible, it says your mind will deceive you. You can't listen to the lies of the world. And I think it's Romans 12:2, it says, don't conform to the ways of the world, but instead allow God to renew your mind and let you know that his will is perfect and pleasing and good, right? Through that, that's letting you know that the world will try to change you. You'll come in contact with a lot of trials, tribulations, people, and situations that will try to make you conform to live by the standards of what the world wants. But you have to follow your faith. You have to follow what you believe in, even if it costs you everything. And what I was going to tie that into is they're telling a story of like society being representative of like a King Nebuchadnezzar inside of the Bible, when he built that statue of himself made of gold, and he wanted everybody in his kingdom to revel in the glory and the magnificence that was this great king. They wanted people to bow down to the statue and praise it. But when he met Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, their faith in what they believed in made it so they were not willing to conform their faith and praise a false idol. They were willing to die behind the fact that they believed God wouldn't forsake them. God wouldn't allow them to be murdered for keeping faith in a higher power source. So in turn, King Nebuchadnezzar put them all in the oven and turned it up and tried to burn them alive. But when they looked inside of it, they saw God literally walking around in the fire with them, protecting them. He wouldn't allow them to die and be burned up, because as long as you're living in the example of that, as long as you're standing on faith, and as long as you're focusing on being a good person and standing on what you believe in, God will never forsake you. So I think that's what this entire album was about. Don't fall victim to societal pressures. Don't fall victim to the standards. Don't fall victim to the manipulation of the things that come along with your success, whether it's trying to be a successful musician or a successful band like them. This is also speaking to the tactics of, this reminds me of like Pink Floyd's projects as well, like Wish You Were Here. This also speaks to the tactics of record executives and the dreams and narratives they'll try to sell you, the way that they'll try to get you hooked on substances so you can produce brainlessly. They don't want a human inside your body. They just want a puppet that they can be able to use to perform and make them more and more money. This is representative of all of those things mixed into one, and how it's important for you to stay outside of that and maintain who you are in spite of it all. That's what I get from this, and I'm done talking. I hope that makes sense. I wanted to just let it all play so I could continue to get my narrative. Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And it's also speaking to like modern times rock and roll. That's also speaking to like that rebellious movement that was taking place in the 70s, where you get like rebellious music like from The Clash or Pink Floyd's narratives that they talk about on like Dark Side of the Moon, not too far after this. A lot of those things where it was shifting and they were going against the grain and telling the hierarchy, no, we won't be your puppets. We won't listen to what you say is important. We're going to focus on what we know to be true. We're going to focus on what true faith is. We're going to focus on happiness, peace of mind, being good people. That was the rebellion, because that's not what they want. They don't want high-selling artists to push narratives of individuality. They want puppets. So this is also breathing in how modern day rock and roll brought that rebellious spirit that gave people the confidence to speak out against bigotry and oppression instead of just kneeling down and allowing them to shit on you. That's the full consensus. But if you agree, or if not, make sure you comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this album. Let me know what you thought of it and what narratives that you get away from it, or if you agree with everything that I was saying, because that was just kind of the general thing for me. I would say this was a dope record. It was a start. And I'm excited to see them continue to progress, because Night at the Opera is leaps and bounds beyond this. But I like where this started. I like that it was based on encouraging people to be strong. So I really can't dislike it in that way either. But if you enjoyed this reaction and you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to say like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notification bell so you stay in tune every time I drop another one like this. I'm going to put the QR code to this Patreon right here. I already put Keep Yourself Alive out there. And if you're watching this outro, that means for whatever reason, I posted it, I disputed all of those things, and it didn't end up getting taken down. So if you're watching this, I hope you enjoyed it. And if not, we're here on Patreon. But yeah, scan this if you want to be able to check out all full-length album reactions like this, along with everything else that we've been doing. And shout out to all of our patrons for your continued support. You guys make it possible. Watching these videos, interacting, joining the family, you make it possible for us to continue growing and making more and more content like this, and checking out a lot of new music that otherwise I probably would have never heard. So I appreciate you guys first and foremost. And that's all I really got. Without talking too much, this was dope. And this is my first time, and this was my start in getting into the Queen journey. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll stick around for everything that's to come. Also, on the Patreon, I'll be putting out some polls to figure out what albums we'll be doing. So, come join the family if you want to be a part of that as well. But yeah, until next time, I go by the name of Five, and that's all I got. Peace.